Morning, everybody. How are you, Brenni? Good? Okay, morning. All right, I just want to talk about a couple of issues first, then we will discuss the announcement today about Arnott, then the Treasurer and I will talk about our Housing Investment Fund, and then we'll go on to other questions. Okay, so first of all, as Queenslanders know, there's a tropical cyclone off the coast. My advice is that it's not going to cross land. We may see some increased swells across our coastline, but at this stage it's about 610 kilometres northeast of Mackay, then tracking towards Norfolk Island and to the northern parts of New Zealand. So we'll be getting regular updates from the Bureau, but at this stage it's all good. It's not going to cross the coast. Secondly, can I just mention as well that Queenslanders' hearts go out to what we're seeing with the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. I think anybody who saw those images on the television last night and in our papers would feel an enormous sense of sadness for what is happening there. It's just absolutely devastating. And it's wonderful to see the federal government sending some aid over there, which I think is happening around the world. So I just wanted to pass on my thoughts there. Okay, so today, in some really good news with our Energy and Jobs Plan, wonderful to be here at Stanwell. On Monday, we were looking at the meeting with the workers who are making trains in Queensland for Queenslanders. And of course, today we're here at Arnott, another proud company, over 150 years old, making the great quality Arnott biscuits. And yes, before you ask me, my favourite, Monte Carlo or Kingston. And why do I say those? Because they're actually made in Queensland. Even though they're distributed all around the country, they are unique to Queensland. Okay, wonderful to meet with the workers here today. Over 600 people employed here. Some have been here over 30 years. Obviously a very good company. But the announcement today is the agreement reached between Arnott and Stanwell for this factory to go green. We are going to be seeing more and more factories move into the green energy sector, which is fantastic. And my advice is that this 8-year renewable energy deal will mean that they will be supplied with 68 gigawatt hours of clean energy from renewable energy projects right here to the biscuit factory. So by 2029, 100% of the factory's electricity will be from renewables, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm joined here today with George, who's the CEO. So I might get George to say a few words and then Minister Brenni, and we'll deal with this issue first, and then the Treasurer and I will move on to talk about housing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Premier, and thank you everyone for joining us, the Minister, Michael. And first I'd like to begin by recognizing the traditional custodian of the land and pay my respect to their elders, past, present and emerging. Arnott has been making biscuits for over 157 years, as the Premier said, and in Queensland we've been part of this community for over 75 years. As a matter of fact, yesterday I came here to this site and I presented an award for 45 years of service to Ian Miller. Ian is a really loyal, hard-working operator on this site, started in Milton and moved here when we made this large investment on this land. Our Virginia site makes more than 40 million kilograms of biscuits. To put it into perspective, on a 200-gram pack, that's about 200 million packets of biscuits a year. Or if you want to make a little bit of fun fact, it's 890 million tiny teddies are made in this site. But not that. This site is a home for the most loved biscuit brands in this country and beyond. We exclusively make here, as the Premier said, Kingston, Monte Carlo, but also we make the Arnott's assorted creams, Arnott's family assorted, Arnott's shapes, barbecues and chicken crimpy. We make all the Arnott's cruskets here on this side, just to name few. So today we are incredibly proud to announce this partnership with the Stanwell organization and the Queensland government. Without their support, this wouldn't have been possible. Today, this agreement will ensure that this site will run on 100% renewable electricity by 2029. This is a reduction of 73%, 73, three-quarter of the factory carbon emissions. We are very proud that this will take us a step closer in achieving our net zero target for Scope 1, Scope 2 by 2040 and across the entire supply chain by 2050 for Scope 3. And this will enable us not only to achieve it, but accelerate it well ahead of our own target and well ahead of the industry benchmark. Today's agreement demonstrates the support of manufacturing to green energy in Queensland. Today's agreement wouldn't have been possible without our energy partners, World Connect, Stanwell operations and the Queensland government. So I'm very thankful for this partnership, and I believe that Australians who are enjoying and loving the taste of Monte Carlo today, it's going to taste a lot more sweeter tomorrow knowing that it's made with 100% renewable electricity. So thank you very much, and I pass back to our ministers.
Thank you. Mick?
Thank you very much, Premier. Well, today's announcement is about a few things. Firstly, it's about tackling climate change. The Arnott's motto is that there is no substitute for quality. There's also no substitute for real action on climate. And the Queensland Energy and Jobs Plan, which has enabled deals like this one, is all about delivering real action on climate. Our Energy and Jobs Plan and today's announcement is also fundamentally about Queensland jobs. Queenslanders have been manufacturing biscuits here in Virginia for decades, and today's announcement means they'll be able to continue to do that for decades to come. Essentially, green manufacturing equals job security for over 600 workers here in this community. That's what the Queensland Energy and Jobs Plan is all about.
Okay, any questions on this announcement? Are there commercial arrangements between Stanwell and Arnott's? Did you have anything to add, Michael?
Commercial in confidence, I'm afraid. We've got a number of deals like this that we're doing with a number of different counterparties. It'd be inappropriate for us to be able to talk about this deal while we've still got other deals on the go. Thank you.
No, assorted cream has not been discontinued. You can buy today, tomorrow, and any day assorted creams, Arnott's assorted creams, made here in this factory in Queensland and distributed across Australia. We substituted one of our classic assorted to a high tea, which is a product more asked for by the consumers. And with the limited shelf space, we have to be choiceful as we innovate in the category. But we are very proud of all our biscuits, and you can still purchase the assorted pack, both family assorted, Arnott's assorted creams, and high tea. And they are made exclusively in this site and distributed to the nation.
I believe results were following in 2019. The employment numbers since then, have they gone up or down here in Queensland?
The employment numbers have been stable. As a matter of fact, we find it even hard in today's environment to get employment. This site, we've been working with our union partners to even run at 7 days, and we've been trying to recruit shifts to run at 7 days. Just that you're aware, this site runs 24 hours a day through 3 shifts, and now we're trying to organize for our crews to run weekends as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, so today we're also wanting to update everyone on our Housing Investment Fund. So as you can remember, this is a $2 billion fund which is releasing $130 million a year. And today the Treasurer is announcing that the expressions of interest are open. This is really important. We know that housing is a big issue out there in the community, and I will be reconvening that housing roundtable next month in March to get an update on everything. I also want to advise everyone that Cedar Pacific has been selected to deliver a 470 home development on the site of the former Children's Court at 50 Key Street under the Build to Rent pilot project. So it's great to see another project that's getting out the door. I'll hand over to the Treasurer.
Thanks, Premier. I just want to say something about Arnott and renewable energy before we go into the Housing Investment Fund, before the rain starts. This deal is a great deal for workers, it's a great deal for our economy, it's a great deal for the environment, and it's a great deal for Queensland. It means that the shapes made in this green box will be powered by green energy. If we're going to deliver the jobs of today and convert them into the jobs of tomorrow, we need to ensure that they are sustainably powered, and that will create economic opportunity, support for all of the workers, but most importantly, jobs for Queenslanders in the future. Today we open the next round of our Housing Investment Fund, our $2 billion Housing Investment Fund. That's $130 million that will go into housing. We are dealing with the private sector, with superannuation funds, with construction companies, with community housing funds to look at more and innovative ways to deliver more houses over the heads of Queenslanders. We face a challenge with housing. We've got a record housing build happening across Queensland now, more than 40,000 homes being constructed, a 25% increase in a year over the value of houses being constructed in Queensland, now more than 40,000 on the go at the moment, but we need to do more as a government. That's why we've identified land at Key Street to put into the private sector so they can build a build-to-rent project, and now we're going to look at innovative projects around Queensland, not just in the southeast, but in regional and rural parts of our state to deliver more homes for Queenslanders. We've already delivered 1,200 homes through an agreement with the Brisbane Housing Corporation. Now we look to deliver more homes across Queenslanders through the next round of our Housing Investment Fund. That $130 million will happen each and every year into the future. We've never had this funding stream for housing before in Queensland, for social and affordable housing, and that'll help Queenslanders at a difficult time.
Quickly on housing, Treasurer, how much will be allocated for regional and
Look, we're going to the market. One of the reasons we've opened this round at this time is the feedback we've received, particularly from regional construction companies. They want to have a part and be a part of the Housing Investment Fund. So that's why we go to the market, we listen to them, we look at the projects. It's got to stack up as value for money for Queenslanders. It's got to make sure that we can deliver low-cost rent for Queenslanders. It could be standalone homes. It could be a small development in a rural community or regional community like Hervey Bay. So we're looking at innovative models, and in a sense we are working in partnership with the private sector, with the community housing sector, and government coming in with this funding to make sure they can get those homes built.
When the fund was $1 billion, were any projects funded under the small scope?
Yeah, I've announced that previously. 1,200 residences funded through a deal that QIC did with the Brisbane Housing Corporation. Construction on those homes will commence this year and go through till 2025. So we will have a rolling program now of social and affordable homes that will be funded through our Housing Investment Fund. But what we've done is double it. It's gone from $65 million a year to $130 million a year. This is new for Queensland, but it means we can work with the private sector more innovatively to get more homes out in the community. No, it won't be. But what we've learnt from Build to Rent is that's a very useful model. So we are looking at any ideas that come forward from the private sector and the community housing sector. There's strong demand for this, and of course we can come in with our funds to help de-risk that project, to make it a realistic project for communities, and of course we get a product in the end like we have with the new property that's going to be built at Key Street, at least half of those 470 residences, about 250, will be units that will be pitched at an affordable rental, so lower than the market rate particularly for key workers who work in the community in the city. Depends on the project, so it depends on how we can negotiate with the housing provider or the construction company to develop that. So we work flexibly with them.
Are there any numbers on the university projects, or also numbers on how many money funds have been utilised under the government's?
No, I'm sorry, I don't have those numbers myself, but I'm sure the Deputy Premier, who's running both of those projects, could respond to you.
In terms of existing buildings, has the government identified any further existing buildings that could be refurbished in a smaller amount of time rather than be running away until 2027?
Well, the Director General of the Department of State Development, Mike Kaiser, is leading that project, and he's looking at a scan of all government land across Queensland to see if we can free that up. So I'm sure they'll be able to provide that information to you. Okay, anything else?
Yep.
Just on the Olympic funding agreement.
Yes.
Out of that 50-50 was premise partly of 50-50 control in the state government. Is the state government seeking more control? Is that infrastructure agency?
No, we have a very good relationship with the federal government, and in all my conversations with the Prime Minister, he is absolutely committed to the Olympics. So, I mean, there's absolutely no disagreement. This commentary is actually not correct. Sorry? There's no hold up. So the next time the Prime Minister's here, I'm quite sure we'll have an announcement to make.
At the State of the Union address, the PM wasn't too keen to talk about the split and scheme to shut it down, almost saying that it was a bit of media speculation, but now it seems like rhetoric has certainly changed. What has changed?
We have a really good relationship, so everyone is committed to making the Olympic Games work very well for Queensland and for Australia.
Are you willing to accept a deal that's less than 50-50?
No.
So it hinges on that, basically.
Sorry?
It hinges on that 50-50
Look,
deal.
I don't think you have too much longer to wait.
When's he coming up?
Very soon.
I mean, is there any, obviously this impacts on a lot of things, a lot of projects.
No, it's not having any impact on project delivery. Can I just reassure Queenslanders, it is not having any impact on project delivery at all.
So his prison state's going to find it that's
Yep, everything will be revealed very shortly.
So
Okay.
when we'll get the GABA redevelopment plan as well, when the Prime Minister is here, or do we have to wait?
There's a whole lot of work that's happening behind the scenes in relation to a number of those key infrastructure projects. Don't forget, these games are a long way away, and the infrastructure is going to be built well ahead of the games. The other thing is we also have over 80% of our infrastructure already built. So let me assure everybody, there is no hold up, there is no delays. In fact, my conversations with the Prime Minister have been absolutely reassuring and promising that he is committed to these Olympics.
Days or weeks when
Well, just a little bit of patience.
But beyond the enterprise,
Yes.
there's massive spending in climate at the moment, and I understand you're about to announce a whole suite of measures you're taking to combat that, looking at both enforcement and also intervention.
Yes.
When you look at intervention,
A combination of both,
what
yes.
are the causes of youth crime that you're really trying to intervene on? What do you think is causing this spike?
Yeah, well, thanks, and that's a very good question, because when I was up in Townsville, I had the opportunity to sit down with a range of stakeholders, including the Stronger Communities Task Force, as well as meeting with police. And there are some very complex issues here, as you can appreciate. What we are finding from the results of that Stronger Communities is that they are finding that there are issues with young children in high school, students not being able to hear, and also having issues with their sight as well, which is an issue about being able to perform in the classroom. So there's a lot of intervention happening there for those children. Unfortunately, there are children who come from broken homes. There are children who have been impacted by fetal alcohol syndrome. So there is a lot of work going into early intervention. I want to reassure the community of that. $800 million we are investing, and a lot of those programs are working, especially with dealing with that 90%. What these laws that we'll be taking to the Queensland Parliament are about the 10%. You would have heard the Commissioner speak at length about that 10%. So we really want to make sure that our efforts are now focused and targeting that 10%, those serious repeat offenders. I haven't seen his letter, I'll have a look at it. Well, once they come into Cabinet, they will then go out for consultation, okay? Well, they're all entitled to their say, but let me say this. Queenslanders want answers. We are doing evaluations on the early intervention programs that Minister Lennard's department is administering, but the police are also increasing their efforts. There's going to be increased patrols. There's going to be higher visibility. These are complex issues, and people are working across the agencies, much stronger now than they ever have had before. Well, we need to make sure that the courts are doing their job, but also too, we need to build the capacity of more non-government organisations as well in relation to these intervention programs.
The government made changes in 2016-17 for the Youth Justice Act. Do you think those changes have had any contribution at all to the current spike we're seeing now?
Look, there's a whole lot of issues about the causes of crime. You can talk to. Yeah, and some of those are working because we have had evaluation of some of the programs, and like you've heard the Police Commissioner say, and myself and Bob Atkinson, 90% of these young people that get early intervention don't go on to reoffend. Now we are looking at those serious repeat offenders.
Those changes helped, but many people are laying the blame at this spike being the cause, those changes being the cause of many of the problems that we're seeing now.
Oh, look, there's a whole range of issues in relation to youth crime, and of course, a lot of these young people don't have good parents as role models as well.
So you don't think that those changes have had any contribution to what we're seeing?
I don't believe so.
What is the plan for increasing repeat detention? So these measures are resulting in more children being held?
Yeah, Minister Lennard's department is working on all of those issues.
Those space in detention centres, they won't be built for months. So what is the plan? Are children going to be held in those houses for weeks?
Well, no, there are plans, and the government is working on those plans, and we'll have more to say about that going into Parliament.
The opposition's been calling to see this.
Sorry?
The opposition's been calling to see this before.
Well, are they going to support it or not? It's pretty clear. It's in black and white what we're doing.
Is that a
So
process,
are they supporting it or they're not supporting it?
Would the government normally
What's
show
their
the
plan?
opposition
They have no plans. They have no policies.
Just to clear it up, every
Yeah.
press conference they've had, they've been saying. we've been
But
calling
they have no alternatives. They have no plans. No, when I was opposition leader many years ago, I was hounded by the media about where is your policies and where are your plans. And it doesn't seem to have the same level of scrutiny on this opposition that I was held to all those years ago.
Just to clarify.
They are lazy and they need to do the work.
Generally speaking, would that be the process? Would you show the LNP?
Well, they'll see it when it goes into Parliament, just as well. They actually, we've announced though what we are doing, it's in black and white, so it's pretty clear.
Premier, on Monday you mentioned
Yes.
that it could go through a committee process. We don't need a full committee process, a few weeks to get to, the Rights Commissioner will have to say what kind of things will happen in legislation.
Yeah, the human rights, yeah, they will be able to have their say.
Just very quickly,
Last one. Yeah. That's currently before a committee, and I'll look forward to seeing what the committee has to say. But, some of what the CCC is saying is unworkable, okay, because you will not even be able to do your job. So I'll let the committee have their say first, then government will consider it.
A YouTube study has shown that deaths in custody, the majority are Indigenous women who are either on remand or in protected custody, and shows systemic racism within the judicial system. Is enough being done to protect Indigenous people in custody? What's your take?
I haven't seen that report. I'll have a look at that.
Generally speaking, though, is the government doing enough?
Well, I believe that we have a lot of programs in place, and many of those programs are working, but I'm happy to look at that report.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you.